Hi everyone, Evie here, the Greek Goddess of Grey reading. Today I'll be reviewing Antigoddess by Kendare Blake, the first book in her The Goddess War series. Old gods never die, or so Athena thought, but then the feathers started sprouting beneath her skin, invading her lungs like a strange cancer, and Hermes showed up with a fever eating away his flesh. So much for living a quiet eternity in perpetual health. Desperately seeking the cause of their slow, miserable deaths, Athena and Hermes travel the world, gathering allies and discovering enemies both new and old. Their search leads them to Cassandra, an ordinary girl who was once an extraordinary prophetess, protected and loved by a god. These days, Cassandra doesn't involve herself in the business of gods. In fact, she doesn't even know they exist. But she could be the key in a war that is only just beginning. Because Hera, the queen of gods, has aligned herself with others of the ancient Olympians who are killing off rivals in an attempt to prolong their own lives. But these antigods have become corrupted in their desperation to survive, horrific caricatures of their former glory. Athena will need every advantage she can get, because immortals don't just flicker out. Every one of them dies in their own way. Some choke on feathers, others become monsters. All of them rage against their last breath. The goddess war is about to begin. So as a lot of you know now, I am a sucker for Greek mythology. Last year I read and reviewed the entire Percy Jackson series. I also reviewed a sort of modernized version of the Persephone myth called Abandon by Meg Cabot. I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, which was my top book of 2015, and they were all amazing reads, and I love it when authors try to modernize Greek gods, because these Greek gods are definitely modernized. Athena kind of dresses like a punk in this book. Her hair is dyed, her nose is pierced, she's wearing like ripped jeans and combat boots. Hermes is the god of thieves, and in modern society, he is a thief of luxury. He likes luxurious things, so he steals a lot of clothes and stuff throughout the book from very nice, high-end, expensive clothing stores, and he's dressed very well. Hera, even, who is the mother of gods, she kind of dresses herself very sort of businesslike, but still maternal looking, but very chic in today's society. Now, as the book's description says, the gods are dying, each in their own way. And I sort of drew a parallel to the death of the gods, these immortal gods that were supposed to last forever, that the Greeks were supposed to believe in forever, which, as most of us know, most of the Greeks don't believe in the Olympians anymore. They believe in Orthodox religion. And so I drew a parallel between the death of the gods in this book to sort of the death of religion. It's kind of interesting to see that play out and see Athena choking on feathers, something that was her strength before. An owl was her sort of messenger, her animal of choice. Hermes is dying of flesh-eating disease that's wasting away his muscles when his previous strength was his speed and his strength. Even Aphrodite, she is slowly being taken over by the madness of love, the goddess of love, and her own beauty is being turned against her, and she is slowly starting to develop bruises and sort of impurities on her flesh. And what with everything happening with all these sort of religious groups that are really sort of heightened and creating these terrible situations in today's society, like ISIS and their sort of plight for their religion, as they say, it just doesn't make people want to believe in religion anymore. And I drew a parallel between the gods and how they are always so sort of cruel and don't really care about humanity that much, and nowadays with the religions that we do have, and how they don't seem to care about humanity either. They're willing to kill to get their message across. Like I said, the gods are doing whatever they can to survive and whatever they must, going to so much extreme, like extremist groups like ISIS. In the book, they level buildings just to get what they want, and they don't care who they harm in their way. That is not religion, but these gods and these extremist groups are putting the face of religion on their sort of quest for, I don't even know, because it all gets lost in the destruction that they create along their way. And in this book, while the gods are supposed to be immortal and the strong ones, it flips itself on its head in that the humans are the strong ones. Cassandra is a strong girl prophetess, and she ends up being a great key to destroying the antigods that come into play in this book. Her gift for prophecy really helps in some situations, even though the other gods who are allied with her don't necessarily think it's very useful. Her friends Andy and her brother Henry, they're very strong humans too, and they can hold their own against gods and sort of creatures of the gods that come and are enemies of Athena and Hermes and all of the humans. So I really liked that the humans were depicted as the strong ones in this book, that Athena and Hermes had to go to a human in order to help themselves, help their cause. They needed the strength of humans and the gifts of humans in order to survive their own deaths that are coming. I wanted to like Athena a lot, but sometimes she just did things that were so like a goddess and just cruel and not caring about the people around her. But then she makes a lot of mistakes, and it kind of humanizes her in a way, and her sort of relationship with a character that comes into the book, and that development really gives her a likable quality, and she's not just, oh, I'm the goddess of war and strategy and wisdom and I know everything and I'm right. She's almost like the Hermione Granger of gods. She thinks she knows everything, she thinks she's always right, and she's very bossy, but she also at times doesn't care about other people. But these relationships that she develops with Cassandra and Andy and Henry and another human who comes into play in this book really humanized her, and I like how that happened, because then you start to care about the gods a bit more when they are humanized and when they're not so up there and out of your own sort of sphere. I definitely recommend that you guys pick up Antigoddess by Kendare Blake. I know that I'm going to be getting the rest of the books in these series, which I believe are Mortal Gods and then Ungodly. I think that's the order. I'm not entirely sure. She also has a few short stories that she wrote with this book that are online, actually. The Dogs of Athens is a book about Artemis, actually, and I think it's called Gods and Vampires Roam Miami at Night or something like that, and it's about Athena and how this boy thinks she's a vampire. And there's another book or short story, I can't quite remember what it's about, but they're really good reads, so I highly recommend that you guys pick it up if you haven't already. If you guys are reading along, the next book I'm reading is The Road by Cormac McCarthy, so pick it up and read along with me. My website, Twitter, and Instagram are in the bio below if you guys want to take a look. Hit subscribe if you guys like what you see and want to see more videos by me. I'm Evie, the Greek goddess of great reading, and until next time guys, keep reading.